Welcome everyone to our final Senate session of the semester. I'm thrilled to welcome Zane Reef, the Senior Director of the Purdue Memorial Union, to our meeting tonight. Mr. Reef oversees the PMU, the Union Club Hotel, Stewart Center, Kroc Leadership Center, and retail dining on campus. Zane earned his Bachelor's of Science in Business Administration and MBA in Accounting from Colorado State University, Pueblo, his Master of Science in Student Affairs and Higher Education from Colorado State University, and his Doctorate of Philosophy in Higher Ed Administration from Texas Tech. So thank you so much, Zane, for coming to speak to us tonight. We're really excited to hear about the union renovations.
Well, great. I'm excited to be here. So thank you for letting me join you today. So I'm thinking you probably are hearing me okay. I can't see a lot of feedback. I'm on one screen here, so just let me know if there's any issue. But yeah, I just wanted to again, thank you for the opportunity to come speak with you today. Really today, what I'd like to do is just kind of chat with you a little bit about the food concepts that we have down in the Purdue Memorial Union that are going to be opening up January 10th. And so we're a little over a month away from having it open and being ready for students. And so I thought, this would be good to share some of this content with you. And then obviously, if anybody has any feedback or wants to ask any questions, we can do that here. So the only problem here, let me see if I can get to my next slide. I'm having a bit of an issue here getting to my next slide. So hang on, real set. There we go. Everybody should see the next slide there. So just to give you an idea of the different concepts, we have 12 new dining concepts if you include Boiler Market in the downstairs area of the PMU. The first thing I just kind of want to point out, Olivia, can you see my cursor?
Yeah, we can.
Okay. Well, the first thing I want to point out is this used to be all back of the house here. So this big chunk of the PMU used to be the old catering kitchen and kind of the prep kitchen area. So you can see we've kind of opened up a lot of these areas and kind of created this really kind of cool venue where you can walk in and out. I don't know if a lot of you have been to kind of food markets or food hall concepts. I know they have one in Anaheim, Austin, Dallas, Philadelphia. There's a lot of these kind of concepts where you can kind of go up to a place, grab your food, and then go sit down wherever you want. And so that's kind of the idea that we're going for. So it's got kind of an industrial look. The one thing I try to tell alumni, because alumni are very passionate about the PMU, is really what we're trying to do is restore the old Union to kind of its historical feel. So you'll get to see a lot of the wood, a lot of the terrazzo, the tile work and everything like that, but you'll have a lot of modern amenities. So not only do we have really cool food options down there, but we have a lot more power, stages, and all kinds of things for people to be a part of. And so very excited about that. So the first concept I'm going to share with you is the barbecue district. And so this is actually where the old Oasis used to be. And so this will kind of be kind of your typical kind of barbecue concept. They will have jackfruit. So they do have some vegetarian some type options there as well. But this will be kind of a smoked option. You can actually watch your food get prepared. As you can kind of see around, there's some of the seating concept. There's some booth seating. There's some bar stools, some regular chair height. There's kind of a pick up your place and kind of grab it type area. And so, we anticipate that this will be a pretty popular venue once it opens. So this is one of the 12 new concepts kind of down on that north end where Oasis Cafe used to be, if you were familiar with the old PMU. The next concept just to kind of share with you here is Chef Bill Kim's Pizza and Parm Shop. And so just kind of letting you know, this is kind of a Detroit style pizza. They'll have an oven there you can kind of see in the background, but you can kind of walk up and kind of order, kind of what you would expect, kind of Italian type food concepts. Again, this will have a vegetarian option as well to make sure that we're trying to cater to as many people as we can. And it'll have a to-go option as well. And so I believe, if I'm correct, there's a Cornerstone Market, and Chef Bill Kim kind of comes out of Chicago and some different places there. So they have a pretty nice little following, and very excited to have the Pizza and Parm Shop in the Union moving forward here. We'll go to the next one here. The next one is Fresh Fare, and so as you can expect, this is kind of more freshly made kind of salads, kind of fresh type options for individuals. This is kind of tucked back in a corner that students didn't get to go to as much in in the past because it used to be back where the old catering and the retail kitchen was. So we've kind of opened this up and have about 200 more seats than we used to on the inside of the PMU. And so this is kind of one of those spaces that you wouldn't have gotten to see in the old Union. But they're going to have fresh concepts there. Like I said, salad wraps, those type of things that people can enjoy, and they'll have a to-go area as well. We have Sol Toro coming in, and so this is kind of a taqueria type place. I know it says tequila. I don't think they're serving tequila out of this place, but it is guacamole, tacos, kind of really cool concepts. It's got a really fun design. One of the things I do want to invite, if anybody wants to see what it looks like down there, we're making a lot of progress moving towards January 10th. I can take small groups from PSG if anybody wants to go in there, but this is one of those fun designs. When you go down there, you kind of see it on the back wall, and it kind of just draws your eye to the to the food location. But this will be a really fun option, we think, and very popular for students. If you're like me, taco shops and taco trucks are very popular right now. We do have a Latin-inspired John Mannion, who's a chef, does some Argentinian type food. And so this will kind of have a Latin-inspired Latin flair to it. And so I've actually read a few reviews about this place today because it was one of the ones I was least familiar with. And he's opened up quite a few restaurants and really cool places, kind of little dive places, and they've been really popular. So I anticipate that hopefully the food will be really good here. I know they're just finalizing some of the menu concepts for this, but to kind of give you an idea there. We do have a halal option. So this is kind of Atish Halal Contemporary Kitchen. And so for any of our students looking to make sure that their food is prepared in a halal manner, this will hopefully handle some of that. I know we're looking at maybe some other concepts having some halal options, but this one will definitely be dedicated to halal meats and preparation. And so excited about this. It's kind of a Mediterranean flair. They'll kind of have the kind of the fire stick and everything kind of going in the middle that you can kind of see your food being prepared. And met the owner of this. He's very excited to be on campus and explore some of the options that we have with students. So hopefully this will meet a need of campus that I know I've heard from a few students that there was a need for this. So I'm hoping that this will be a very popular place as well. We do have a Chef Bill concept. So there was Chef Bill Pizza and Parm. And this is kind of a prepared place. So Chef Bill Kim, essentially what he's going to do, and Chef Bill Kim won't be here, but we'll have Chef Chris who will be with us, and I'll try to get him to meet some of you. But he'll be preparing food on a weekly, sometimes daily basis. So the concepts here at Chef Bill Kim will change. And so they might, you might walk up to this place and they have 30 things about an item for the day, and they're just kind of trying it out. So this is kind of an exploratory type kitchen where they'll try new things. They'll kind of get some customer feedback and try to give you kind of a variety and some really cool options. And so that's kind of what this concept's about. So this should be a very changing a concept that kind of evolutionalizes over time and kind of takes a kind of a path of its own. Excuse me. I apologize for the cough. We will have we'll have Sushi Boss coming back. And we'll be kind of in that expanded concept, a little bit bigger area for them. So they're able to prepare and move through the line a little bit faster. So we're excited to have them back as a partner. Again, very popular in the old Union, but kind of with a new redesigned menu and kind of some new concepts in there as well. We do have a place called Zen Poke. It was Main Street. It has now turned into Zen, just got a new partnership, kind of a new relationship. Zen, I don't know how many people we have here from Chicago, but my understanding is this is a pretty popular place in Chicago as well. Zen has a few sushi and poke places around there. So if you're familiar with that area, you might have seen this concept kind of in there. So we're excited about that. I do love the tile work and kind of the water type feel in this concept. So kind of a cool look for this place. Of course, we need to bring back Starbucks, but I think if any of you were with me with my last presentation with PSG, we now have a whole coffee shop dedicated to Starbucks. And you can see that we have a queuing line and it should be a lot faster than ever before. I did learn actually last week though, that they'll take the Starbucks card and points and all that stuff. And I know we didn't get to do that in the old union. And so if you use your Starbucks card and all that stuff, it should be valid at this Starbucks moving forward. And so very excited, that we'll have that available for people. And you can kind of see, again, this is a coffee house. You don't get to see a lot of the furniture, but we will have a lot of soft furniture, hard seating, all kinds of different things in there. What's really cool about this place is it actually has the Purdue stage in it. And so this is a performance stage where we hope that student organizations, PSUB, other groups will actually want to put on performances and events and things like that. So this is actually one of the more permanent stages that we have. We have 3 possibilities of stages inside of the PMU and 1 outside near the fire pits in different area. But this is our indoor one kind of within that coffee house area where we hope, I know PSUB is already busy planning some acoustic music, open mics, those type of things that will be taking place here in the Purdue stage. If we go down here, kind of where the old Pappy's location is, this will be Walk-On's Sports Bistro and Bar. And this is actually the concept that is co-owned with Drew Brees. And so as you look at this concept, just a couple of things to point out. Walk-On's is from Louisiana, so it will have a little bit of a Louisiana kind of flair, but they'll be your normal kind of bar food, burgers, those type of things. Wherever you sit in this venue, you should be able to see 3 TVs from wherever your seat is. Within this small space, I think we have 55 to 60 TVs located in that concentrated area. So it should be easy for you to catch a game or catch something on TV. The other thing I did confirm with our partners from the Purdue Food Company that the Pappy's shakes and everything will be part of the menu. And so those items, those sweet shop kind of shakes and everything, they'll have a couple of those menu items on the Walk-Ons menu for people to enjoy. And I know that'll our alumni will be very happy with that as well. Just to kind of give you an idea, this is what the bar area looks like for Walk-Ons. And the only reason I wanted to put a picture of this up is there's a couple cool design features of this. The step stools where the actual bar is will actually be the old streetcar rail from State Street that you'll be able to rest your feet on. And you'll notice that smoker's fence kind of design that you see all over campus. It's kind of playfully called the smoker's fence will actually be kind of the part that delineates people from 21 and up from those that aren't. And so, but the nice thing is there'll still be seating right around the bar. So you'll feel like you're in the bar, even if you're not 21 yet. So you'll still get that kind of atmosphere and that kind of feel. And so that's kind of the Walk-Ons concept that's coming. Right next to Walk-Ons is the Ever True stage. And so this is the stage that actually mirrors our outdoor stage. And so from this picture, you can kind of see if we have a performance that the weather goes bad, we can actually move our performers in here. Lots of seating around this area. Pool tables are over here on this side. We do have these really fun environmental graphics to kind of talk about what it means to be a Boilermaker from, crossing the tracks all the way to graduation. You'll see the stained glass window element within some of these. And so we expect that this will probably be a little bit more lively, a little bit more rock music, that type of stuff, bands, those type of things. We imagine karaoke, those type of things that are a little bit louder. The other nice thing about Walk-Ons is that it will have full service to the Rack and Roll bowling alley downstairs. And so you'll be able to order food from down there and have it delivered to you. And so hopefully for anybody that was, that comes and visits Rack and Roll or does a little bit of bowling, we're excited about that. One thing I do want to mention at this time with our Rack and Roll space is that we are in the kind of in the early stages. This summer, we're going to kind of remodel and we'll have an e-gaming arena kind of sports venue down there. And so we're kind of modifying it a little bit. And so we hope that Rack and Roll will be even more popular as we start to do some renovations down there. But hopefully the e-gaming will be big with some of the community that we have here on campus. And then obviously we'll have some food that'll be shared down there as well. Just to kind of give you an idea, we do have the outdoor terraces. Walk-Ons will serve food. And, if you want any drinks or food out here on this terrace, we should be able to serve that. Here's the outdoor stage that I was talking about that kind of leads right into the east terrace on the inside. And then this is the larger of the 2 terraces, which is the west terrace. And so you can see we'll have picnic tables, some fun seating out there. You can sit along the wall out here, better ADA accessibility right into the building, right into the ground floor. And so we're hoping this, when the weather's nice, people will sit out by the fire pits or underneath the shade and enjoy their food out here as well. And then finally, the last concept, which you probably all know if you've been on campus around some of the markets, we will have a Boilermaker market located in the PMU, and that will be where the old team store was located. So when you come right down the stairs on the Grant Street side, right down underneath the hotel, we'll have a nice kind of market kind of area there for people to grab some snacks and some to-go items. So those are the concepts. I do want to share, if anybody has any interest in working, I told the Purdue Food Company that I would share this with them, share this with this group. If you have any interest, we're in need of hiring about 500 students to help man and staff, really staff the area that we have down there. And so there's a bonus, $250 for referring a friend, free meals, paid study breaks, all those things. And I just wanted to make sure that if anybody had any interest in that or sharing that with people, I wanted to make sure that that got out there as well. So that is my presentation. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of stop sharing there. And Olivia, I don't know if there's any questions out there or anything like that. I'll definitely take any questions if we have any. So
yeah, we can go ahead and open it up for questions. Go ahead.
Hello. My question is, how much interest have you gotten so far in applications to work at the union? How long has the application been open, and how many people have applied for a position so far?
You know, I don't know the exact numbers. I'd have to check with our partners. I do know that they've been advertising for positions since the start of the semester, I think September, October. Obviously, I think we're like anywhere else in the country. We're, kind of feeling the labor crunch. And so we're just, trying to get full-time and part-time employees to be a part of it. But I can get you those numbers and kind of tell you where we're at from a percentage perspective. I don't have those with me tonight. I apologize. Gotcha. Oh yeah, Martia kind of jumped in there, and I forgot to mention this. One of the nice things about the Purdue Food Company is that they do have the option to cater all of these options anywhere on campus. And even if you want to have something in the Stewart Center and you want Jersey Mike's or Qdoba or something catered, it's all the same company, Purdue Food Company. And so all of those items can be catered, and everything that I showed you today is part of a student kind of catering menu that I know that the Purdue Food Company will be rolling out, and we'll hopefully get some information out to student organizations. But if you see any of those items, like any of those items, then I think that we'll be able to cater to any of your events.
Yeah. Eric, did you have a follow-up?
Yeah, I do have one more follow-up question. So
sure.
End goal is to ideally get meal swipes ready to go for most of these places?
Yeah, right now, I do know we have meal swipes for dinner on Monday through Thursday. So I do know those are in place, and I know there's discussions about other times, but right now those are the solidified times that we know we'll have meal swipes in there.
Gotcha, thank you.
Pro Temp Reynolds.
No problem.
Hi, Mr. Reef. Talking about meal swipes, there's been, people have heard about it being a separate meal plan. Can you talk a little bit about more details about the meal plan, please?
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great question. There is another meal plan, and I'll hopefully get some information out about that. But there is an opportunity for commuter students, faculty, staff that really want to have a meal plan that they can eat at any of the retail dining locations. Those are already in process and in play. You can actually go to the Purdue Food Company website and actually apply for those there. And obviously, the more you spend up front initially, the more you get in free meals and those type of things as part of the bonus. I think they give you a free meal on your birthday. So there's some other perks and everything that works with that. But I do know we've definitely been pushing it with faculty and staff, and then those students that aren't necessarily in the residence halls, this would be a really good option for them to eat at any of the retail dining locations on campus, except for Chick-fil-A. I do want to mention that Chick-fil-A is the only one that's excluded because they're kind of on their own here on campus. So,
go ahead.
So can I follow up with, does that mean students who do live in the residence halls, would the union restaurants be included in that, or would they have to apply as well? Like, is it only for commuters, or is it for people in the residence halls as well?
No, residential students could buy it as well. Like I believe residential students get part of that as their plan. The meal swipes would work Monday through Thursday. But if they wanted to buy a plan as well. They could. The plans are open to anybody. I was just saying it was really convenient for commuters and staff and faculty who may not have that board option.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Great question. Thanks for clarifying.
Go
And
ahead.
please call me Zane, everybody. I don't go by Mr. Reeve, so please call me Zane.
Go ahead, Austin.
So I actually had like two questions, but my first one would be, I'm really intrigued by the idea of a rotating menu that's switching around, to provide different options.
Yeah.
But my first thought would be, is there going to be like a way to promote that online? Because my thought would be if I show up, I'm going to have in my mind kind of which restaurants I like the best. And I probably am not going to want to make a stop at that restaurant first just to check in on what they've
Right.
got. But if I knew ahead of time, like, oh, this is what they have this week, maybe I want to go straight there instead.
Yeah, I'll double check on that. I do know right now on their website, all of the options that are in the PMU say closed, and so they haven't quite put the menus up there or any of the the operational hours. But as they get closer, I'll make sure that and especially with that one, if it's rotating and there's different things, I'm sure that they're going to use social media quite a bit too, and we'll use it here in the PMU to kind of alert people. But I'll share that comment with the Purdue Food Company to make sure that they have that updated daily if they're changing that menu at all. Good suggestion.
Do you have a follow-up? Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. That's great. And then my other question was it seems like kind of like walk-ons is going to be available throughout the union and in other places if depending on where you're sitting. But I suppose if you're going to have like an alcoholic beverage and want to be sitting in the bar, that's probably going to be excluded just to within those smoker gates or smoker fence, right? It's not going to be throughout the entirety of the union.
No, you won't be able to walk through the entirety of the union, but walk-ons does have a little bit larger footprint than just the bar. So the restaurant kind of piece where they're at, you'll be able to enjoy a drink out there. And then ultimately we'll have the outdoor when it's nicer. We worked with our local excise that you'll be able to sit outside and have a drink as well, but it will have to be served to you. The bar is the only place that you can walk up and get a drink and kind of stay within that area. Everywhere else will have to have the alcohol served to you according to Indiana state laws.
All right, thank you. That sounds phenomenal.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Senator Price.
Hi, so I have a question about the halal option. Now, I'm not completely, I don't follow the halal diet, but I am wondering if that's already a problem, if we're offering the halal diet to everyone, if we are only gonna have that for dinners Monday through Thursday, and if we don't have any options in our dining courts on the meal plan, are we gonna make people who need to follow that, like, from my understanding, it's part of religion. Are we going to have them pay for that on extra days? Are there any differences considering the halal diet and how that restaurant's going to work compared to the other ones? Because I'd hate to have people who need to follow that for religious purposes have to pay extra just for that. And again, it's from a non-Islamic understanding, but that's how I understand how the halal diet works, and I'm just genuinely curious about what you all do about that.
No, and I think it's a good question. These options, just so you know, aren't just open from those dinner times. They'll be open at lunch, starting at 10 or 11. Most of these have hours that are operational all the way from, mid-morning all the way through the nighttime. And then obviously if they're popular, we'll keep them open longer. Your question's a good one. I don't know if I have an answer completely on it right now. I think probably what we'll need to do is, I don't know what kind of options they have for residential students. As far as halal options, and I'll have to visit with some of my colleagues over in housing and dining to kind of chat with them, because I'm hoping they're offering that. I would think that they're offering those options. This option will be available, like I said, mid-morning through kind of the dinner time hours. And so we do know that if you have one of the meal plans that we were referring to, or you just want to come over and grab something, it'll be of an option to you. But I'll do a little bit more investigating to see, what other options you have when this one is not open, to kind of see what we have. But I don't know if I have a clear answer for you yet about, about all the options that somebody that would need to follow that diet would need. So.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
No problem.
Senator Silver.
Hi, just going off of that with halal, for kashrut or kosher food, is there any plans for having kosher food on campus? Because not even within like any of the dining courts or anything, is there any option for kosher food for any of the Jewish students or any others who follow the
really?
kosher route?
Yeah, that conversation has not come up, but that's definitely one that I can share, and definitely I would welcome kind of PSG's help and kind of identifying, like you're saying, there's no options on campus, and if there is a need for that, I think that the Purdue Food Company would definitely hear it out and kind of see what type of options that we have. So again, I probably have to do a little bit more investigating. We haven't had specific conversations. I do know that we did have a small student group that was very focused on the halal options, which is the reason that we wanted to feature one of those restaurant experiences as halal. So it's not to say that it's not out of the realm. I just think we'll probably have to do a little bit more investigation and kind of see what the costs are and kind of what the menu items from some of our Jewish students and colleagues would be. So.
Any other questions? Senator Terrell.
Hello. I was just curious. You made sure to highlight like the people or the different places that were going to have vegetarian options, and I think that's great. But do you know which like locations are going to also offer vegan options for those who, follow that lifestyle?
Yeah, I'll get you some information on the exact ones. I think most places, and this is again, I'm kind of speaking off the cuff here because I think most places where we have some vegetarian options, I know they're definitely thinking about vegan options, but let me get back and I'll kind of make sure that I don't want to overstate that all of them are vegan, but I'll double check that to make sure. I would think that most of them are in some of my preliminary conversations, but I'll double check that and make sure I get back with this group about that. So.
Senator Brown.
Hi, Mr. Zain. Thank you again for speaking with us. I had a quick question about the meal swipes that you were talking about. I know that Purdue Food Co. currently has the silver retail dining and the platinum retail dining, like membership style. Is that what you're referring to? Or is there going to be a whole nother meal plan that is added to the current meal plans for anybody to use?
I believe those are different. I'll have to go look. I didn't know they had a name to them. So if I could be speaking incorrectly, but my understanding was that no, those weren't the ones that they were talking about, but I'd have to look. It could be. I could look at the website. Do you have that website pulled up real quick?
I do. It's purdue.campusdish.com.
Do you know what, if you could kind of, do you know what the offerings are, what they're saying? It's a meal plan. Just like, if you tell me what they are, I can tell you that's the meal plan. So.
Yes, sir. So the silver retail dining membership is $375, members only promotions and discounts, $400 included, complimentary meal on member's birthday, and then there's.
Yep, that's it. Yeah.
That is it. Okay.
Yeah, those are it. Yes, sir.
Pro Temp Reynolds, go ahead.
Hi, I just wanted to, sorry, I have two more really quick ones, I promise, but I took the tour.
No, it's great.
I took the tour last year. It was actually the day that election results came out, so I was giving a tour of the union when I found out about Olivia and Shannon. It's a funny story, but I don't remember if you gave the tour, but I took the tour last year, basically. And I know they had some interesting statistics about the number of seating that has increased. So if you know that, I think the Senate would love to hear that number if you know it right now. But then also I wanted to ask about student space. So you talked about PSUV and how they're already planning stuff. Is that the stages and stuff like that going to be available for anyone to book?
Yeah. So let me answer that question first. Yes, all four of our stages, the 3 inside, outside, are available for students and student organizations, our RSOs, for free. And so there's no charge for those groups to utilize those. Obviously, if they have to bring in heavy sound or something like that, we'll have to work and figure out what those costs are to do that. We also have 3 new meeting rooms down there, which I did not point out, which are free for student organizations to use as well. So in addition to the stages, there are like 3 private dining kind of meeting room opportunities down there as well. So definitely, I should have highlighted that as well to let you know. As far as the seating goes, yes, there is more seating. I believe we've gone from roughly about 700 seats to about 900. I think we're about 920 maybe inside. And then I think we have an additional, I want to say close to 100, 125 seats outside that we didn't have before. And then the other thing about our outdoor seating is even the seating that was on our terrace before is actually getting replaced and updated. And so hopefully we'll have better and more seating on that terrace right above the union, right off of the main lounges as well.
Thank you.
Awesome. Any other questions? Alrighty. Thank you so much, Zane, again, for especially last minute coming and speaking with us tonight. And I'll definitely be reaching out to you about maybe scheduling some tours for senators. I think that'd be really awesome.
Yeah, and I'll try to get back on I know some of those questions I wasn't quite able to answer tonight. I'll try to get back with you, and hopefully we can share that with the group as well. So.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Zane. Let's give him a round of applause.
Have a great night, everyone. Good seeing you.
Alrighty. And with that, hello and welcome. At 7:35, I will now call this meeting to order. First, we'll get started with our introduction of visitors. If you're a visitor in the back, please state your name and reason for being here. Yeah, you can just, press down.
Kimberlyn Vasil for the Purdue Exponent.
I'm from the
Alrighty. Seeing no other visitors, do I hear any proxy reports? Alrighty. Seeing no proxies, we'll get ready for a roll call.
Hello, can everyone hear me? Okay, so for roll call, to make the last Senate more interesting, say your last name after I say your first name. Veronica.
Reynolds.
Nate. Lily.
Ferguson.
Austin.
Verinda.
Scott.
Ashby.
Sydney.
Carol?
Julia.
Perello.
Harley.
Redlin.
Mason.
Merkel.
Hadley.
Knaus.
Evan.
Chris.
Eleanor.
Sedona.
Cameron. Garrett.
Price.
Mohammed.
Booftis.
Michael.
Brown.
Andrew.
Eskunis.
Adam.
Kitchener.
And last but not least, Matthew.
Thomas.
Thank you for participating.
I think we're still missing some.
Lynn.
Silver.
Diana.
De Guzman.
Divya. Ishida.
Verona.
Sophie.
Rowan.
And Matthew. Okay, thank you for participating.
Awesome. Thank you, Secretary Huang. We'll now get into our land acknowledgement. Purdue student government acknowledges the traditional homelands of the indigenous people upon which Purdue University is built upon. We honor and appreciate the Potawatomi, Delaware, Miami, and Shawnee people who are the original indigenous caretakers of this land. Now moving into the Pledge of Purpose, Senators, please rise. Our purpose is to be the voice of the Purdue student body, serve the needs of students in all university matters, and provide leadership that stimulates initiative, inspires excellence, and exemplifies professionalism. And above all, hail Purdue. Awesome. The minutes for the last meeting were distributed to you all via Google Drive. Are there any corrections to the minutes? Okay, seeing none, the minutes are approved as distributed. Now move into executive reports. President Kang, do you have any?
We sent out the fall survey yesterday, so it's pretty short. It's about like a 3-minute survey. Our Strategic Planning and Assessment Committee did that. Just offhand, if I remember, so for Dead Week and for winter break, please make sure that you're taking care of yourselves. This week has been crazy. Just getting ready for Dead Week has been already crazy. So I know that a lot of us have a lot, and it's just been crazy coming back from the pandemic and trying to go to all of your in-person classes. So please give yourself a break, especially over winter break. But we'll be here to support you. But that's all I can think about right now.
Awesome. I can go ahead and share my executive reports. I sent you all an email about it today, but we're still planning on doing our YWCA service opportunity just from 9 to noon, so really quick. It'll just take up your morning. And please see, I dropped the sign-up sheet in the Slack, and you have it on email as well. If you have any questions about that, please let me know. I just wanted to give an update on some things that have been occurring within sorry. This is having a moment. There we go. The Educational Policy Committee that I sit on within University Senate. So we listened to some administrators this week. They talked about capping enrollment at 8,700 for this incoming freshman class that they're still looking over applications for right now. And they're kind of looking at the winter flex data. So they sent out a survey. You all should have gotten it. So students got it, faculty, and then I believe grad students as well. All were surveyed about their thoughts on the winter flex model and what it can kind of mean for next year. And so they're hoping to compile that data by January and just kind of give us a rough estimate on the climate and atmosphere that of opinion that people are kind of feeling about it. And then we're still working on getting the dead week policy through EPC into the floor of the University Senate. So I think that's all from me. Any other executive reports? Go ahead.
Hey guys, I figured I would just give a brief rundown on how traffic court has gone this semester. So just going to go through some things real fast. We had a total of 75 appeals given to us this semester, of which ultimately 58 made it to the bench. The only reason why they might have never made it to the bench was because they either failed to schedule with us, decided to withdraw their appeal, or didn't show up to their hearing, which in that case that is an uphold. But we heard 77% of the possible cases that we could have this semester. And of the 58 cases that we heard, we dismissed approximately 70% of them. So if you guys were looking for a ratio of dismissal uphold, there you go. A few trends that we are currently debating within the court are just the fact that backing into parking spaces has been a very kind of controversial thing that we've always had to deal with, and it's been one of those things that we were consistently unanimously upholding verdicts on that. It's slowly started to go back the other way because we're not completely sure whether or not Parking Services has been entirely enforcing that rule consistently. And that's kind of the situation with that. The other thing that we're looking into investigating further are the pedestrian citations that we hear every once in a while. I'm sure you guys have heard of police officers on bikes occasionally giving students warnings or maybe giving them actual traffic tickets every once in a while. We've invited PUPD to attend our court hearings for next semester if they are interested in ever sharing their side of those interactions with those students. Both of those situations have resulted in what used to be unanimous votes now starting to become very hotly contested close votes, like separated only by one vote as the deciding factor. So those are just two things that if students ever bring up concerns to you about those things, feel free to just refer them to me and I can talk to them about the nature of those cases and if they want to appeal those with us, because we talk about it all the time in court. So besides that, we will be introducing 2 new justices next January. Just be ready for legislation to be prepared on that. And want to refer you guys to the fact that you are welcome to attend our court sessions whenever you want next semester. They'll be virtual until spring break, and then after that we will be back inside Cranard. I'm going to give you guys an update.
Awesome. Thank you, Eric. I love the student court personally. They dismissed my parking ticket, and it was a great experience. I learned a lot about court. So if you ever get a parking ticket, appeal it, and they'll take really good care of you. Pro Temp Reynolds.
Hi, everyone. So Andrew cannot be here. Andrew is in our ABTS liaison. So I have some for myself, but also I'm going to give his announcements really quick. On behalf of Andrew, he says that FSCL and the Student Government Association are having a roundtable on Monday, December 6th from 6 to 7 p.m. And he'll keep trying to put these things in the general Slack as well to remind you all. If anyone's interested in going, he's always very responsive. If you want to attend, everyone is welcome. And then the Winter ABTS Conference is going to be from January 28th to the 30th. With topics the topics that are going to be talked about are a President's Roundtable, a Liaison Roundtable, a Sustainability Roundtable, a DEI roundtable, a governmental relations one, a campus safety roundtable, and then they also are having a new committee. And I'm assuming on campus safety. And then if you want more information on the campus safety roundtable, email him. His email is jensen87@Purdue, and he also says hi. And then, so personally, some pro temp minutes, reports for you are just a lot of stuff I talk about at caucus. Senate duties, I just want to make it, remind everyone one more time that I announced at caucus that if you message me or Olivia in writing so that we remember by Friday with an excuse of why you did not complete a Senate duty, then we can most likely excuse it and approve it as well. If you're just honest and are being responsible about it and taking care of it yourself, just message us. But if you do forget by Friday and something is not done in your Senate duties, we will have to address it. But just trying to give you an opportunity because we know it's been kind of a hectic semester and trying to fit that all in. And I know administration also is not always the most responsive. It's not always your fault. So just let us know if something couldn't happen, please, by Friday. And then just from me, I think it's been a great semester so far. Thank you all. I think Senate engagement has been high. With you guys coming to some of our events, we've had good BOD events. They're having a meeting at 8. We have a slide saying thank you, and with the selfies that we took there, I sent it in the Slack. And then also next semester, I'm working ahead of time to have events planned ahead so that we can get more engagement with you guys and the student body next semester.
Yep. Thank you, Pro Temp Reynolds. Any other? Go ahead.
We talked about grants a bunch last time, but just a reminder that SOGA period 3 is due in January, so pretty soon after classes start. If there are any organizations that you know of or in your college that are looking for some funds, if you want to check out, I've done my best. The budget is up to date to the best of my knowledge as stuff rolls in. If you want to kind of see where we stand at the end of the semester. Then I know there's a couple colleges with tabling events coming up. Make sure, try and get those receipts to me as soon as you can so you can get reimbursed before break. And if you have any budget questions, feel free to reach out.
Awesome. Any other executive reports? Go ahead, President King.
I have two more. One is, so the University Senate Chair has started a committee to discuss sexual violence on campus, and he has really I applaud what he's doing, and he's been really challenging the administration, but making sure that he's not kind of like blindsiding them. So the work that of the committee members the feedback is amazing. We have 3 undergraduate students serving on that committee right now, along with some new faculty who have perspectives about diversity, perspectives about just like power-based violence and what that looks like, the dynamics of what it looks like to submit what's the word I'm looking for? Incidents. So just keep that in mind that there is still work being done there. And second, the Sustainability Summit was yesterday and it went really well. Today we have 2 pieces of legislation that have to do with sustainability. I think the force has always been there on this campus. Just a matter of doing something about it, and I think these 2 pieces of legislation that we have today are the right way forward. And also we do have a group of students who are willing to push just the culture of sustainability amongst all the sustainability groups that were there at the summit. So yeah, and I'm sure that they have some reusable bags left. So come to the office and ask for one if you're looking for reusable bags. That's it.
Any other executive reports? Alrighty, seeing none, we'll move into committee reports. Internal affairs, do you want to get started first?
So IA doesn't really have anything new to report. We're still working on that same legislation that we've been working on our constitutional amendments, and should have that by next semester for y'all.
Awesome, thank you, Lily. Moving on to FA?
Yeah, so FA will be reviewing the grants one last time for the semester on next Monday. Just to give you a quick number update for the semester as a whole, we're about giving out 3,000 funds as of currently to student organizations on campus. It's been about 11 applications that we've reviewed, and we'll have the last one for this semester on Monday. Additionally, we are working on the financial guidelines. We've had conversations with Cabinet before, and we're sort of writing a formalized document on that, and then we'll move forward with it more formally next semester.
Thank you, Senator Dodona. CSRA?
So we have
our meeting with the CAPS director this Friday regarding the database that we wanted to work on. So I think after that meeting, we'll be able to get a little bit more information and headway on how we want to take the project, or like if we're going to be doing it or if we're going to partner with CAPS. And then we also have the meeting with PUPD finally scheduled regarding the blue lights.
Awesome. You guys sound busy. That's great. UAA?
Hi, so we don't have many updates, but we are meeting with the director, the new director of academic advising next on Tuesday to talk about any potential projects that we can work on for next semester.
And then moving into our ad hoc committees, the Pride ad hoc, do you guys have any updates?
We don't have any updates. I believe Divya was working on getting a call up, but I haven't heard too many updates from her.
Awesome. Let me know if you need any help with the APF side of that or anything. Imha, I know you already gave some earlier, but if you have any other updates.
Yes, we do. I do have some updates for you guys. So I'm going to be putting things in Slack, but our organization call out is this Friday in the Winifred Parker conference room. So like accessible on campus this Friday at 6 p.m. And it's for organizations who are interested in hosting an event for MHA. So if you guys are in separate clubs, or if maybe as like senator, you want to use your $75 to put it towards that, or I know in the past we had committees do an event, but you guys don't have to come to that meeting because you can just ask me about it. But if you guys are in separate organizations and want to host an event for MHA, this will be the informational meeting to sign up and how to register to be on the calendar. So please look out for that. And then also you are all always welcome to come to our planning meetings on Sundays at 4 p.m. in that same room in Winifred Parker. Yeah, that's it for me.
Awesome. And then Safer?
Yeah, so one of the major pieces of work that SAFER is doing now is sort of elaborating further on the recommendations that got passed to the Student Affairs Committee and sort of giving a more exact recommendation on what we want that to look like. That's been sort of a concern from University Senate as of currently. A lot of that will be taking sort of conversations that we all had when voting on that resolution and bill and incorporating that to be a little more specific. Additionally, doing some long-term event planning and advertising. That's all SAFER is doing right now.
Awesome, thank you. And honestly, just want to take a moment before we move on to thank all committee chairs for whether ad hoc or standing for all the work you've done this semester. It doesn't go unnoticed, so thank you. Next, move into informal discussion. Do I hear any informal discussion at this time? Alrighty. Seeing none, we'll move into old business. Do I hear any old business? Senator Chris?
Motion to bring up Bill 2138.
Second.
It has been properly moved and seconded to bring up Bill 2138, the second reading of the creation of the Deputy Chief of Staff position within the Cabinet. This is amendable and debatable and requires a majority vote. I don't know if we really have any other discussion from Shannon and I on this, besides the fact that this is the second reading. So yeah, any final or any questions? Anything changed from, yeah, Senator Brenda?
We partially mentioned this previously in caucus, but have you guys looked into the concept of how this person could potentially be compensated financially, and or should they be compensated financially, considering the Chief of Staff is financially compensated?
Yeah, honestly, we haven't had a conversation about whether, what position constitutes a stipend or anything like that. I know not every cabinet position has a stipend according to our bylaws. So yeah, if we wanted to have that conversation, we could definitely talk about it and just, kind of hash into it, look at the responsibilities, look at just kind of their workload as well.
Okay, thank you. Just wanted to get that on the record as a potential possibility.
Yeah, for sure. Any other discussion? President Kang?
Yeah, for now, we won't be putting a stipend on this bill to create this position. If that ever comes up, as Sean just mentioned to me, our treasurer, we have to talk with Tammy from Bozo.
Any other discussion? Alrighty, we'll go ahead and move into a vote on 2138. All those in favor, please raise your name placards. All those opposed, same sign. Okay, Bill 2138 passes unanimously. Do I hear any other old business? Okay. Any new business? Senator Chris?
Motion to bring up Bill 2140.
It's been properly moved and seconded to bring up Bill 2140, the proposal for the commuter meal plan for off-campus students for spring 2022. This is amendable and debatable and requires a majority vote. And any of our authors can go ahead and kick off discussion. Go ahead.
Hi, so this has been a semester-long legislation that we're excited to announce, but this was made because we were wondering why Purdue didn't have a meal plan for off-campus students that other universities have. So we talked to the director of dining operations and the provost for student life, and we came to an agreement of making an off-campus meal plan for off-campus students for next semester for a trial run for not only on the go, but pizzas in one bowl.
We'll go ahead and Senator Brown.
Yeah, so also just a quick point of clarification. I know it was talked about earlier with Mr. Zane. The meal plan that he was describing, it can be found on Purdue Food Co.'s website, and it's existed since Purdue Food Co. has intertwined with the dining here at Purdue. And this is something that is separate from that. So with that plan, you're basically paying $375 and you get $400 to spend at any of the locations. Whereas this is a fixed rate for those meal plans that would be primarily used for on the go for off-campus students where they don't currently have any plan available to them.
Thank you for that clarification. Any other discussion from authors? Okay, we'll go ahead and open it up for any questions or any other discussion. Senator Terrell.
I know we discussed it in caucus, but just to get it out on the floor, how are these people getting selected for the trial run?
Go ahead.
So it's going to be an application, first come, first serve, just putting your name down so that we know how many people would want this. Again, it's a trial run, so if this goes well, then it could up the trial or up the applications for the upcoming semesters.
Senator Brenda.
Just drop my name placard. Also, like to ask, how do you know, or are you aware of how actively they are promoting this trial run thing? I understand it's an application, but do we know how aggressively they're making people notified of it? Because I guess I hadn't heard about it other than out of in Senate. I mean.
Senator Brown.
Yeah, so the big holdup there is just because it hasn't passed the Senate, they can't promote something and give kind of off-campus students false hope, if that makes sense. Once this does hopefully pass, then they've talked about promoting it and getting it more to the campus and to the people who would be utilizing it.
Any other discussion? Senator Dodona.
I just have a point of comment. This bill is sponsored by the Director of Operations and Dining, correct? So.
Pro Tem Reynolds.
I just want to express really quickly how I do think this bill is very good. The UAA committee has put a ton of work into this. It started as a bigger idea, and then they, as like sectors on campus, and they did not shut it down all the way, but instead of UAA found out that they didn't like the original plan, so they like rerouted and created a plan that could still work and still benefit the student body. I just want to say how much work they off-campus students, and there's like they weren't like discouraged after the original plan wasn't working, and they just found a new route to still help the students. So I think this plan is very thought out. It's obviously supported by faculty and staff and a lot of senators as well.
Thank you, President Reynolds. Would someone like to yield President King 2 minutes?
I
I yield President Kang 2 minutes of my time.
Thank you, Senator Fridlin. So for the application, just in terms of tracking that the off-campus students are actually off campus, and to get the numbers and just the general like area and count of which students in which complexes are using this, will the application process go through PSG, or will it be more monitored by university residents or dining, or both?
Senator Brown?
Yeah, so it would be done through the dining. The application process, as mentioned earlier, isn't so much as the application, but like you mentioned, kind of getting that data, seeing who does want this, seeing if it's a lot, seeing if it's a little, if lots of people from cottages want it, kind of gaining that understanding, and it would be primarily done through the dining.
Any other discussion? Go ahead, Senator Price.
So about the caveat about not being able to advertise for it, yeah, I'm assuming with that response you all do have something in mind to market it if it were to pass today, and if it is, I'd just like to know what it is. And I don't mean any hostility by that, I'm just curious.
Senator Perella?
From what I've gathered, we're not necessarily primarily responsible for like executing any of this. The bulk of that responsibility is on Purdue Dining. Obviously, if this passes, then we can get the information out there, because I think that there are students who would greatly benefit from this, so we would definitely try our best to make students aware of it. But we were told that Purdue Dining would be primarily responsible for all of it. And we also are doing this on a trial basis, so it can absolutely change in the future, and there's room for it to evolve. The goal is that we just try to see, like, are students even willing to sign up for it? Are they really interested in it? Are there other places that they would, like to be able to use swipes at, and all of that? So it's really just a trial basis for the semester, get the information out there, and then in future semesters we can expand on that, open it up to more students and more places, ideally.
Awesome. Go ahead.
Following with that, talking to the director, she was saying that it would be posted on the website where the meal plans are listed, and then it would be added, and it would be called the commuter meal plan next in the table as well.
Any other discussion? Alrighty, seeing none, we'll go ahead and move into a vote on Bill 2140. All those in favor, please raise your name placards. All those opposed, same sign. Any abstentions? Bill 2140 passes unanimously. Congratulations. Do I hear any other new business? Senator Chris?
Motion to bring up Resolution 2141.
It has been properly moved and seconded to bring up Resolution 2141, a resolution to reinstate and expand Erase the Waste. This is amendable and debatable and requires a majority vote. And I'll go ahead and open up to the authors for any discussion. Go ahead, Abby.
I could just talk about this really quickly again for you guys. Just to clarify, what this resolution is calling for is for the residence halls to include food waste bins, and also it calls for the university to transport said food waste from residence halls and Aramark dining locations to the already present food waste stream in dining courts. I think user error is a valid concern, but based off of our pilot program that had a really high success rate, I think that's something that's not super concerning in terms of Purdue students. And in addition to that, I did want to clarify that in a survey going across 15 residence halls, there was a 92% interest among students to include food waste bins in residence halls. So if you have any questions.
Any other authors like to add something? Already, we'll go ahead and open it up to discussion. Senator Terrell?
I was wondering, as I reread over the bill as we're discussing it, when was that study conducted that had like 92% for residence halls, 65 in dining courts, etc.?
2018.
Okay, that's what I thought. I guess my only question is then, do you still think that this information is just as relevant? I know with COVID, obviously, people were taking their food back to residence halls, and therefore that would increase the waste at them. But now that like the dining halls are open back up and like the union's about to open, do you think that, I guess it's not fair to ask you because it's your bill, but I'm just curious if the need is as big as it was in the past few years, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think that's a valid concern. I think one thing to note is that 2018 does show overlap in students in 2021 who live in the residence halls. So that's one thing I'd like to note. Students who were students in 2018, there are overlap in terms of who are students now. So I think in terms of interest, I am not concerned about that. And in terms of the need for it, I think the need for it stems not from the problem itself, but the effect of it. So methane emissions, the carbon emissions, it's less about is there enough food waste for us to collect it, and more about what collecting food waste will do for carbon emissions on campus. And there's always a need to lower those, regardless of how much food waste there is.
Senator Denona?
Just to know, I think that this plan is a fantastic way to effectively combat these issues on campus, but I did have a quick question on sort of logistics in your conversation with Purdue administration and willingness to sort of being the ones to carry this out and their sort of sentiments on it.
Yeah, I think like I said in caucus, there is a reason it's a resolution and not a bill. In terms of funding from the university, we are not seeing a lot of transparency, so that's why we call for a resolution. We're hoping that if we shoot big, we can receive some funding, and I think in terms of if it does become a problem, that's something we can reevaluate in the future, but right now this is the first stepping stone to even get a food waste program implemented on campus. So I think that's a concern we can address possibly later if it comes up, but right now this is, like I said, our first stepping stone, and this is where we would like to start.
Any other discussion? Pro Temp Reynolds?
Abby, I just want to give you an opportunity to share who Isha is and other people who are in support of this program.
Yeah, of course. So Isha could not be here. She was here for caucus, but Isha has been working with the Erase the Waste group since she was a freshman. So she's been working on it for 3 years. And she is also part of the Sustainability Council at Purdue, and she was a great help in writing this. She had a lot of faculty contacts, and she also, her group did a bulk of the research in terms of the scientific data, so that was provided to me, and she was a great help, and Isha was really effective as an author.
Yeah, thanks for sharing that. Any other discussion? President Kang?
Abby, thank you so much for sharing all that and putting this together with all of the data. And we've really brought up great points in terms of like the necessity for this, what it's going to show. Is there really large support from Purdue to do this? It's really just about starting a culture change, a culture of sustainability, and putting it in the residence halls. Like Abby mentioned, there is overlap of students from 2018 to 2021, but also there are new students, students who went through a pandemic, students who are here to learn, and many students probably don't even know about what food waste does and the harm that it can do to the environment, and then they probably also don't know that we have a digester here in the city. So there are means to help individuals become more environmentally friendly in their actions. So I think whether it's used by only several floors, I think by diverting the food waste out of the landfills is extremely impactful. And if there is enough momentum from the students, I believe that there could be, in 2 years, in a year, maybe even next semester, there could be a large push to get larger university funding from this to prioritize these small steps that can lead to bigger things.
Yeah, of course. Thank you, President Kang. Any other discussion? Go ahead.
I know in caucus you said that, I know in caucus you said that in the pilot program you didn't really have you didn't really need any oversight because people were complying with it, but in the event that you see non-compliance, like who's gonna oversee it, I guess? Like or who's gonna police it in those locations?
So, just a quick note, I think non-compliance is so rare, it shouldn't be a barrier in terms of creating goals for a university. The pilot program had really low non-compliance rates, as we said. And in addition to that, there is some post-sorting done by dining courts right now. Obviously, they cannot just throw everything in and go ahead and send it to the digester. There is a small-scale post-sorting operation right now that happens in the dining courts, and we expect that the food waste from the residence halls, because of high compliance rates in our pilot program, it would be able to enter that as well. We think that there'd be less problems than, I guess, it seems in terms of compliance.
Senator Merkel.
Yeah, and also as far as any concerns go for residence halls, which is another very important concern, you know, at the beginning of each year, the resident assistant RA, they speak with all their residents and go over, okay, so this is how we're going to run this hall, this is where you put your trash, this is where you do this. And food waste would just be another part of that, so the residents would be aware of that. So that's just another logistical point that we would incorporate into our conversations after we, you know, get this first step done. It's a very well researched, very heavily piloted scientific bill, and you should work a little hard on it.
President Kang.
The city does have a great signage in terms of what should go and what shouldn't go into the food waste bins. In addition to that, like Abby said, there is like post sorting. There should be post sorting in the dining courts, but as well in the city. Ben Anderson, he works for the city, and he's kind of the one that actually goes through and takes out all of the the grocery bags that he sees in the food waste bin drop-off locations. It's a gross job, but he does it because he knows that if it's important to the city to not break the biodigester. So I think that sorting process there's like a 2-layer step, and once this is seriously considered, I think we should definitely not only train the residents, but also people who are sorting the food at the dining court.
Yeah. Abby?
Also, additionally, I want to say that the resolution does call for the university to include proper signage on all food waste bins, which would tell them, you know, what's actually food waste, what's not food waste. In addition to, you know, already signage that they have for recyclables and stuff like that, it's something that they've done before, and we don't see a problem. We don't see that it could be a challenge for them to print out signage.
Yeah. Senator Escudis?
So you mentioned that you had very few instances of non-compliance last year. Could you talk a little bit about the scale of the study and how many bins you had? I know you said it was just confined to one residence hall.
So it was confined to the Honors College. However, other residence halls did take food waste as well, which was brought over to Honors College. As I said during caucus, campus recycling, who had is a subsection of Purdue Grounds, is the people who handled that transport. So it was across more than one residence hall. It just there was one bin location, and each floor, I believe, I could pull up the PowerPoint, but each floor, I believe, had two food waste bins in, like, you know, in the residence halls where they have the trash rooms. So right where you're taking your trash anyway. So it was across more than one dining residence hall, but the location was only one for the pilot program.
Any other discussion? Questions for our author? Okay, Senator Merkel.
I would say real quick, you should look up online the digester we have. It's really awesome. It converts all the energy from the food, and it uses it to treat our water. So the water you're drinking, all the energy from burning the food waste turns these turbines, goes to our sanitation plant. Really cool.
Yeah. Feel free to drop the vid in the Slack, the link, for sure. Okay. Any other discussion? Alrighty, seeing none, we'll move into a vote on Resolution 2141. All those in favor, please raise your name placards. All those opposed, same sign. Any abstentions? With a vote of 20-0-1, Resolution 2141 passes. Do I hear any other new business? Senator Brenda?
I move to combine bills 21.
Oh, we have one more bill left. I'll give you a sneak peek. Senator Ashby.
Madam President, I move to bring up Bill 2142.
Second. It's been properly moved and seconded to bring up Resolution 2142, a resolution for Purdue University to join the Greater Lafayette Climate Action Plan. This is amendable and debatable and requires a majority vote. We'll go ahead and open up back to our Senior Policy Advisor and President King for any discussion.
Hi, everyone. Me again. So as I said during caucus, this is a resolution for Purdue University to send representatives to be a part of the Greater Lafayette Climate Action Plan, an executive member and a leadership member. The way we see it as a moving train. We see as Purdue has high sustainability goals in their master plan for the fiscal year 2025, but little action on campus has been taken to reach these goals. And we see this as a way that Purdue is buying into something rather than building something from the ground up, which has been met with resistance from university. And I'm going to hand it over to Shannon, actually.
Right, so I think it's starting in 2018 when the West Lafayette passed a West Lafayette Climate Action Plan, which is just general departmental goals and just stating the importance of climate action. This kind of rolled out, I don't know it's specifically from that, but that shift towards, like, guys, we got to do something, from buy-in from all entities, so from the county, from Lafayette, and from West Lafayette. As we all know, Purdue is part of West Lafayette, and Purdue has been urged by the county commissioners and the two mayors to join this during peak COVID time. I don't know if that was their priority, or sustainability has never been a priority, but it should be. So this is why we're writing this resolution. This is why we're urging them to join all of these entities, hop on this moving train before it leaves, before it goes full steam ahead without Purdue. And that's a huge chunk of the city. So this is extremely important for us to do. This is a push for us to get going on it. And I think the Lafayette area will definitely appreciate if we have buy-in from Purdue.
Thank you, President King. Any other discussion? Senator Ferguson?
I personally think that this is a great idea, and I don't want to take away from any of the content of it by talking just a slight formatting thing. In the therefore clauses, if I could have a friendly amendment to just add the apostrophe ands in the first three therefore clauses.
Okay. Any other discussion? Any other discussion? President King?
I'm not sure if this was mentioned during caucus, but I'll talk a little bit about what the executive committee is and what the leadership committee is. The executive committee consists of the three county commissioners and the two mayors, which are the Lafayette mayors and the West Lafayette mayor and the West Lafayette mayor. They sit down with the consulting firm and they basically make all the big decisions, but also they have the leadership committee to help them. The leadership committee is made up of whoever advisors that each of those people want to delegate, and those members chat together along with the executive committee to keep moving this ahead. And Purdue needs to also bring someone to the executive committee and the leadership committee in order for them to be part of the conversations. So this is, I think this is a really great way for Purdue to buy in, but also a really easy way and a first step to start climate action planning here at Purdue and in West Lafayette and in Lafayette.
Thank you, President King. Any other discussion? Senator Terrell?
I was just curious. It was discussed during caucus how Purdue has pretty much done nothing to join this initiative, and I was just wondering, have they released a statement or a reason as to why they haven't sent representation to the meetings, or have they just been accidentally missing them all?
President Kang?
No statement, but I did go ahead and resend the West Lafayette for Students Climate Action letter that was sent out in July, and along with that, there was another letter sent out in July that I mentioned earlier that the 3 county commissioners and the 2 mayors had signed onto. Both have their signatures on them. The President Daniels actually did respond and say that he will read through them, so hopefully by now he has. And also that was sent to Provost Ackridge, Vice Provost Beth McCuskey, Dean Katie, and I believe a few others. So relevant, oh, and also President Daniels' assistant or chief, someone like that. But yeah, I don't think that they would publicly make a statement in terms of why they're not, but maybe they just don't know how to. So as students who do know how to, this is definitely a push that a nudge that we're kind of giving them.
Senator Merkel?
The main reason is that Purdue doesn't want to be told exactly what to do by the city just because the city's doing it. But the main goal here is that Purdue will join the conversation and then set goals with the city, and then Purdue can do what it needs to do with a plan that is tailored to the university. Just right now, so far they have been a little hesitant, understandably, but the least they could do is join the conversation because they just don't want to be told what to do. They want something unique to the university.
Thank you, Senator Merkel. Any other discussion? Pro Temp Reynolds?
Was there a friendly amendment made about the ands?
Yeah.
And it wasn't approved?
It was accepted by both.
Okay, cool.
Any other discussion? Okay, seeing none, we'll move into a vote on Resolution 2142. All those in favor, please raise your name placards. Any opposed? Sorry, I cannot think right now. Any abstentions? Okay, you can go ahead and lower your placards. Okay, with a vote of 17-0 to 5, Resolution 2142 passes. Senator Kress?
Right, I motion to suspend the rules and bring up bills 2143 through 2148 all in one.
Okay. Is there a second?
A second.
Senator Chris is on board. You can't motion to do anything.
I gotta recognize you. Senator Ashby, go ahead.
You can't motion to do anything. You have to move.
Would you like to try that again, Senator Chris?
All right, I move to suspend the rules and bring up bills 2143 through 2148 all in one.
And that's been seconded again?
Second.
Okay. It has been properly moved and seconded to combine 2143 through 2148. This is amendable and debatable and requires majority vote. Mr. Parliamentarian, please give us your wisdom.
So we vote on whether or not we want to suspend the rules, which is a 2/3 vote. And once we pass that, hopefully, then we can get into this consent agenda type thing.
Okay, awesome. So it has been motioned and seconded to suspend the rules. This is amendable and debatable and requires a 2/3 majority vote. It is debatable? It's not debatable?
It's debatable, but not amendable.
Okay, debatable, not amendable. Is there any discussion? And suspending the rules means that someone else will come up and conduct the meeting because it's a conflict of interest for me to sit here and approve my own stipend bill. So just for clarification. Yeah, Senator Brenda.
I believe Senator Chris would suspend the rules to combine them all together. No.
Just suspending the rules first.
Just suspending the rules as
Wait, you're suspending the rules. Wait, what's the first?
Yes. So he moved to suspend the rules. That was seconded. And yeah, now we're discussing just the suspension of the rules. In order for that to happen. Is there any other discussion on the suspension of the rules, that motion? Okay, so 2/3 majority. All those in favor, please raise your name placard. All those opposed, same sign. Any abstentions? Okay, and then that motion passes. Sorry, this is confusing me a bit. And then, Mr. Parliamentarian, what's the next step here?
So, are you wanting to hand over power right now? Is that the idea?
To combine all of the bills. So that's just
so since we don't have rules, if you can entertain a motion to combine, was it 2143 through 2148 into a consent agenda?
Okay.
And then we can work on it. If that consent agenda gets passed, you are able to motion to take a certain bill out of it if you see that it would be appropriate to debate on that specific bill on its own. So just a heads up, we're not combining it all and then it's stuck together forever. If you see that one specific bill needs debated on, you are more than welcome to move to take it out of the consent agenda. This just makes everything move very fast.
Okay. And then, so if we have a motion to combine into a consent agenda, do we have to do one more action to elect a temporary chair?
Correct.
Okay, awesome. Senator Brenda?
Parliamentary inquiry, Mr. Parliamentarian. We don't have to actually elect one, right? I believe the acting chair can just appoint someone new for the remainder of the motion, right?
Yeah, so...
Oh, okay, sorry, I was confused with the election term. Yeah.
Olivia can just relieve the duties of the chair to whichever senator she deems worthy, I suppose.
We talked about it beforehand, don't worry about it. Okay, so the chair would entertain a motion to combine 2143 through 2148 in a consent agenda. Senator Chris?
All right, I move to do everything you just said.
Second. Okay, it's been properly moved and seconded to combine those aforementioned bills into a consent agenda. This is amendable, debatable, 2/3. Okay, no rules. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Okay, so yeah, we're going to combine 2143 through 2148. Just to give you a heads up of what that looks like. So those are the presentation of previously allocated stipends for President Kang, myself, Chief of Staff Ray Felt obviously couldn't be here tonight. He's running board of directors in WALK. Our lovely pro tempore Veronica Reynolds, Treasurer Sean Wiseman, and Chief Justice Eric. Okay, so, and the chair would like to appoint Senator Dodona, if you'd like to go and come up here. All of us actually have to leave the room that are getting, or at least for the voting part of it, we'll have to leave the room. Here you go, ma'am. Time to shine.
Thank you.
And then I usually just leave this here.
Do you clip it or do you just hold it?
Either one. Whichever one you like.
The whole long time.
So no matter what, all these bills are 2/3.
2/3, okay.
So you could use that. And yeah, I'm just gonna go sit up there. So.
You have to all be gone out of the room, correct?
For voting.
Yes, okay. I think for discussion, you guys have to be gone too. I think for discussion. Oh God, I see myself on the screen. That freaked me out.
You're great. And Nate's up there if you need anything.
Awesome. Alrighty, I'll take some motions now. There's no rules, so I'm good. Yes.
Madam Chair, I move previous question.
Go straight to voting.
Okay, go straight to no discussion. Is it? Previous discussion has been called for. It requires 2/3 vote. All those in favor, please raise your name placards. No discussion, basically. Oh, goodness. All those opposed? Yeah, I agree. Any abstentions? Alrighty, ayes of the chair call it. We're not having discussion. Alrighty, then we'll move directly into a vote on all 6 of these bills. All those in favor, please raise your name placards. All those opposed? Any abstentions? Awesome. In the eyes of the chair, the bills have been passed. I get to, right? Awesome. Alrighty, we can call the people who aren't supposed to be here anymore. I'll go get them, because I'll give Olivia back her stuff. Yeah?
I think you have to do it 6 times because how many votes?
Come back, come back.
Okay, thanks, guys. Thank you, Senator Dodona. I know that was so on the spot, but I'm sure you did it flawlessly. Okay. Alrighty, let's get this show on the road. Mr. Parliamentarian, do we need to reinstate the rules?
Yeah, and that's, I think that's just a call for the orders of the day. So someone needs to call for the orders of the day, and like that's like fancy word of we're going back to the rules.
I'm calling for the orders of the day.
Second. Okay, already. It's been reinstated, guys. We did it. Yay. Any other new business? Pro Temp Reynolds?
No new business, but because I had to leave, I just wanted to say that everyone had it very deserving. And I appreciate our meetings together, and I appreciate all the work that I see everyone doing all the time. I love going to Croc and not being alone, and it's very nice to see everyone and to share an office with some lovely people back there. And I know, Senators, you don't really see some of the other cabinet members, like you don't really see Eric a lot. He is so passionate about his job, his updates in cabinet. You guys are always welcome to read our cabinet minutes, by the way. They're all open to everyone in the drive.
And they're really funny.
Yeah, sometimes they're a little funny. Court, maybe I'll organize like a Senate going to court because it's really fun. Eric is very, very passionate about his job and always has good stories about court and stuff like that. And Sean, also, you all know, like, obviously, treasurer does important stuff, but he's also very passionate about his job and very, like, informative and always helpful. Like, last night, he even helped with, like we'll just be sitting there and we'll just, like, spring questions on him. He's very, very helpful. And, of course, you all know Vince is, like, powerhouse. I asked him if he had any announcements for you guys. He said, business is booming. So that's from Vince. That's all I need to know about him. He's been a powerhouse for all 3 years I've known him in this role. And I don't want to forget anyone. And then, yeah, Shannon and Olivia. Very, very deserving. You guys see them already. You see everything they're doing. You see, like, in Slack and their announcements, everything they're doing to help the university and to push their platform as well. And it's going well so far. I just wanted to shout out there. I know I couldn't vote on it, but they all were very deserving of everything.
Thank you, Bestie. You as well, Pro Temp Reynolds. You work your booty off. Any other new business? Okay, seeing none, we'll move into announcements. Any announcements at this time? Go ahead, Dr. King.
I thought I missed it. Sean did not announce SFAB. Sean did not announce SFAB, but the Student Fee Advisory Board grant opened up on November 1. It closes February 1. The reason why I want to bring this up, it is not just student organizations. If you have an initiative or some student in your college has an initiative, you can apply. It's not just student orgs, it is individuals. Now you have to have a sponsor from your college or department because the money would go to them and that you all would establish initiatives. So Mason, I know you do work and you work with a department. If you all had an initiative that you wanted to apply for, it does have to be an undergraduate student leading the initiative. So think creatively. Think if you all have had conversations with your dean, and they're like, hey, you want to get this leadership thing off the ground. Great initiative. It does have to be $15,000 or more, the application. You're not guaranteed any. We're giving out only $1.3 million. So we usually get about $3 million in requests and go down from there. We got to hit the numbers. So really want to drive that home. And if you ever need me, I'm in Croc 370. Thanks to Olivia and Shannon, the candy has been refilled and does not taste like oat candy any longer.
Thank you, Dr. King. Any other announcements? Senator Brenda?
Yes, so I would like to draw attention to the fact, Josh, you here? Stand. All right, Josh, please stand to be recognized. First off, I'd like to say that as of today, the College of Ag Council has announced and appointed that Josh will be the senator for the College of Ag, taking over when I depart in December. So at our next meeting, you guys will swear him in, and he's going to be your new colleague.
Yay! Congrats, Josh. We're so excited to have you next semester. Any other announcements? Okay, seeing none, let's move into some Senate snaps. First one I'd like to give is to Senator Brenda. We wish you well in your future endeavors. Thank you for your service to our country and your service to the Senate. It means a lot, so thank you. Senator Dodonna.
Yeah, I want to give a huge snaps to our senior policy advisor for bringing up these two resolutions. I think it's the first time I've seen a senior policy advisor bringing up bills and resolutions, and that's so awesome. And fantastic work, awesome legislation. Thank you for all the work you do that we often don't get to see. Thank you.
Woo! Senator Brenda.
So I also wanted to say that I want to give a snap to everybody here for always, being there. I haven't been here long. Tried to be involved, some ever since I was a freshman. Wanted to be here. So you guys have been really cool, and it's been great to be a part of this. My fellow senators and cabinet members who are here. But yeah, it's just been a great time. I'm gonna hopefully I'll be turning in my application for graduate school here. So hopefully I can come back and you'll see me around on campus. But I do have a weird request. This might not work. I'm gonna go stand over here in this corner, and I'm gonna try to take a selfie with everyone in the background, because I don't have social media, but I do have LinkedIn. That's the only social media I have. So you know what? We're gonna throw this up on LinkedIn, is what I'm saying. Okay?
We can also wait and take a photo after if you want. Do you want to do that? Okay, we'll take a celebratory.
Or we can do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Celebratory end of first semester. President King.
I also have snaps for just all of cabinet and Abby. She's definitely making sure that we're addressing the platform priorities. Sometimes I feel like an octopus. I just have like so many arms, like in so many different places. But cabinet has kept me in place. And Abby, like, you've really just killed it at your job, and all this, your work is definitely seen. Really, really excited to push 2 sustainability initiatives forward. But thank you, everyone. Thanks, Abby.
Woo. Pro Temp Reynolds.
Guys, I know I've talked so much today, but I want to give a snap to all the we're a powerful group of women who meet on Tuesday nights, so they can review. We literally end at like 10:30. So it's a good time to meet you guys every week, and thank you for dealing with that time also. Very proud of the things that all the committees have put on the floor. So snap the committee heads, but I want everyone to take snaps because it was really good. You get your resume, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Because it's so awesome. It's good to see things going on the floor. Ad hocs being created, like your personal initiatives, like kind of pop out in here in the setting. I've been in PhD for a hot minute, but it's nice to see like a lot of motivation.
Yeah, and to piggyback off that, I want to thank you all for getting through this semester with me. I know sometimes it was a little bit rusty. It was kind of like pulling teeth, but we made it through. And I thank you for your patience with me. And yeah, it's been a really awesome semester. President Kang?
Yeah, I've gotten to know some of you guys a little bit more personally. Sydney and I got to sit next to each other at the Senate dinner that we had, and you made my night. Like, I'm so serious. Winterization I got to do with Sydney, Evan, and Lily. That was so fun, and Sydney's friend. But Evan and I got to chat afterwards too, post-winterization. Lily, you and I have been working together for a long time, and it was so fun being and just getting to know you guys more. It's just why I love PSG. So thank you guys for being yourselves.
Woo. Any other snaps? Senator Brown?
I have a quick one for Senator de Guzman and the other people on the UAA committee. It was a long time that we've been researching this, so he led us well. Great chair, and the other one, everybody else showed up and did great work throughout the semester so far.
Yay! Senator Chris? Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I just have one for Ashita. She has done an amazing job as chair this semester, and like she's like the lack that I did last year as chair, she has completely knocked it out of the park. Like she's been awesome.
Awesome. Thank you, Senator
Thank you.
Chris. That's super sweet. Go ahead.
I actually had one for the whole CSRA committee for all the work that they've done, and I guess just adjusting to me. I really didn't know what I was doing when I stepped into the role, but yeah, I'm really happy and proud of the work that we've done and excited for all the stuff that we're going to accomplish next semester.
Yeah. Any other? Go ahead, Senator Terrell.
So mine's actually for Senator Perillo, because Friday we have our outreach event. So if anyone, I mean, we have limited supplies, so you might get a cookie, you might just get some smiles. But we have literally two of the most incompatible schedules I have ever seen. So everything has been like texting and like random 3-minute Zoom calls, and she had to tackle the APF. And it was just, there's a lot going on there. So props to you, being a good sport. Maybe next semester our schedules just won't be opposite.
Yeah. Any other Senate snaps? Go ahead, Senator Price.
I'd also like to give snaps to Sheila. I joined late, as I'm sure you all are aware, and I'm going to be honest, I still don't know what's going on half the time. But I really appreciate how she, like, as the CSRA like chair, has helped me like figure out what I can do and how I can help people, and I can't thank them enough. So thanks, Coach.
Aww. Any other Senate snaps? Alrighty, see none, the chair will entertain a motion to adjourn. Oh. Ooh. Honestly, I think I saw Senator Ashby first. I'm very sorry. Go for it. It's been properly motioned and seconded to adjourn this meeting. It is not amendable, is not debatable, and requires a 2/3 vote. We'll attempt to take this vote by voice acclamation. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Any abstentions? Okay. The meeting is now adjourned. Congrats, everyone. One semester down.